Oh, yeah.
So, hello and welcome everybody. Today we are going to practice on this teaching strategies of interview questions or for interview questions. Basically in the interview questions आपको कैसे क्वेश्चन पूछे जा सकते हैं, क्या क्वेश्चन आपको टीचिंग स्ट्रैटेजी से रिलेटेड पूछे जा सकते हैं। आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू ऑल कि आप सभी जो देख रहे हैं प्लीज इसको नोट डाउन कर लें क्वेश्चंस। बस दीज आर दी जनरल क्वेश्चंस यूजुअली आस्क्ड इन द इंटरव्यू रूम। First, what is the approach of lesson planning? Why lesson planning is important? Okay, this type of question may asked. Okay, and secondly, how do you engage students in learning? So इसमें आप teaching methods सारे जितने भी आपको पता है वो आप बता सकते हो. You can say every teaching method, how will you engage? And usually for activity based learning and play way method is the best method to engage kids in learning. Okay, सो आप इसी को इलाबोरेट करके बोल सकते हैं। अभी ये सारी चीजें डिटेल में हम समझेंगे आगे, एक एक के क्वेश्चंस हम आगे देखेंगे। वी आर गोइंग टू सी ईच एंड एवरी क्वेश्चंस नाउ। नाउ हाउ डू यू हैंडल डिफरेंट लर्निंग स्टाइल्स? ओके, नाउ डू यू रिमेम्बर एनी लर्निंग स्टाइल्स? देर आर बेसिकली 5 to 6 types of learning styles. Okay, so the most important, the most thing for important, I can say, learning style for the kids is kinesthetic learning style. One is audiometry learning style, one is visual learning style, and the kinesthetic learning style. Okay, so kinesthetic is the best one because at that time the child is learning by doing. Okay, so the child is practicing also, and child is listening also, the child is visualizing also. Okay, when we use AV aids also, that is also one of the learning styles. There are 7 to 8 types of learning styles, but for the foundation stage, these three are the important ones. Next is classroom management strategies. They may ask you the questions, tell some classroom management strategies. So for classroom management, first of all, the very first thing comes is discipline. Okay, if there is discipline in the class, then only the child is going to listen to you. Secondly, there must be some classroom rules. Okay, some class rules which each and every child must follow. The class teacher will make a different set of rules which every child must follow. Okay, then the management becomes systematic. Okay, the load is not there overall on the teacher, and the student teacher have a general interaction also. Otherwise, unless the teacher instructs, the child is not going to move. If the teacher gives the duties to the children, then the management goes systematically. So, if the teacher sets the rules, teacher can give the duties, teacher can make leaders in the classroom, and the row changing, every child must get uh, the first bench to sit on. Okay, that is one of the rule. This can be the example of the rules. Okay, secondly, the classroom management goes in a positive vibe when the teacher is putting the students work on the board of the it may be the notice board, or it may be the board outside the classroom where the child's work is displayed. So there is a positive motivated environment in the classroom as well. So these all things are the important classroom management strategies which is helping the child to motivate and to stay in the class. See, the child comes to school seeing the environment of the school. Okay, but the child actually loves the class and the classroom. The child spends maximum time in the classroom. So the classroom environment should have a positive vibe so that the child must come to the school daily. So for a proper management, there should be positive interaction between the student and the teacher. Okay. This is the best strategy for the classroom management. Next, how do you access student progress? How do you access student progress? See, here you have to answer with the observation method of understanding the developmental milestones of the child. By observing the developmental milestones of the child. Okay, because as a teacher we know at which stage which developmental milestones have been achieved. So when you know the developmental milestone, the observation and the goals which the teacher has written in the lesson plan, is it being achieved or not? This actually helps the teacher to check on the student progress. Okay. And here you can also add the point that holistic progress card is made for that only. See, the holistic, actually I'll give you an idea because that point is later on, but I'll give you an idea. The holistic progress card actually involves all the domains, the goals which the teacher must achieve during the teaching. एक टीचर को गोल्स जो अचीव करने हैं, इंडिकेटर्स एक्चुअली उनकी हेल्प करते हैं. तो टीचर को जो गोल्स अचीव करने हैं और टीचर को तो जो डोमेन्स अचीव करने हैं बच्चे के होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट के लिए, वो सारा चीज प्रोग्रेस कार्ड में लिखा होता है. ओके, सो द मेन एंड द इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट फॉर द होलिस्टिक प्रोग्रेस कार्ड इज to check and access the holistic development of the child. And what are the holistic development? There are 7 domains which we have done in our last class. So 7 domains are the seven domains achieved, have all the 3 goals achieved. And how does the teacher know that the all the 3 goals have been achieved? By the goal indicators. Okay. Goal 1 has 7 indicators, goal 2 has 4, and again goal 3 has next 7 indicators. So with the help of these indicators, we can check the holistic development of the child, the overall development of the child, and then use the holistic progress card for evaluation. The observation techniques for evaluation are the rating scale, okay, and the second is giving the smileys, okay, positive motivations, the checklists. These are the basic observation evaluation methods. Okay, so evaluation is very, very important and observation is very, very important. The teacher's observation is the first progress of the child. Okay, this can be your statement also. Now, how do you differentiate instruction? That means if you want to instruct something to the child, how will you differentiate? अगर आपको बच्चे को कोई इंस्ट्रक्शन देना है तो आप उसको डिफरेंशिएट कैसे करोगे, बाइफरकेट कैसे करोगे? सो द डिफरेंशिएशन ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन इज एज सच कि जब भी आप किसी को इंस्ट्रक्ट करेंगे तो उसको प्रॉपर स्ट्रैटेजी बनाएंगे स्टेप बाय स्टेप. So differentiation of instruction goes with proper planning. This will be your answer. Okay. Before instructing to the child, a proper plan has to be made by the teacher and it should be instructed step by step. If the instruction goes step by step, the work also is systematic. Okay. Now next is, how do you incorporate technology in teaching? So yes, the answer is very easy. Today only we discussed the AV aids, use of AV aids is actually helping the teacher to incorporate technology. Okay. So these are the basic questions for teaching, basic teaching strategies. Now we shall move on to the basic teaching pedagogies given by NEP. So how many pedagogies are given by NEP? There are basically 3 main pedagogies and the next 2 are the implementations of the pedagogy. Okay. The 3 main pedagogies are playway method, activity-based learning and inquiry-based learning. I'll repeat: playway method, activity-based learning and inquiry-based learning. Okay. The next 2 are the implementations of pedagogy. The first is experiential learning and second is theme-based learning. When you implement these 2-3 pedagogies like activity, inquiry or a playway, then the child experiences learning. So you have to implement this pedagogy or this method while the child is experiencing the learning. Learning by doing happens with EL. Okay. Then next is theme-based learning. This is also an implementation, like a teacher has to plan a theme, and according to the theme, the teacher has to use the above three pedagogies: playway method, activity-based learning, and inquiry-based learning. These are the basic three pedagogies for the foundation stage given by NEP through NCERT. For the foundation day stage given by NEP through NCERT. Okay, fine. So now let us have the questions for ABL. ABL is activity based learning. So activity oriented questions, it can be asked, how will you access children in ABL? That means how, if the child is doing some activity, then how will you access that child? So the simple answer is by observation, general worksheets or activity sheets, you can say, by oral questioning. Okay. Second, give an example of ABL in any activity, like the question which was just asked by one of the teacher today in the practice session, and the answer was also given very nicely. So you have to select some of the activities, like one activity example I can share about shapes. If you're teaching shapes, then what activity you can give? You can give building blocks, you can give puzzles, okay, you can give general charts, you can give different cutouts of the shape, and then tell the child to make something. The creativity is also enhanced. The creative and constructive domain is achieved with this activity. When the child is solving the puzzle, the cognitive domain is also achieved, and the mathematical concept formation is there for the shapes. So goal 3 is achieved with the indicator concept formation. Okay. The child is child is making the puzzle. So fine motor skills is also developing. So the goal 1 is also achieved with the indicator fine motor skills. Okay. So with this way, you have to present your answer. If this type of, if they actually, this question will surely come, like present some activity, because as they are asking more CBQs with you. Now next is playway method. For playway method, the question is, how do you ensure learning objectives are met by playway method? That means, how can you ensure that all the learning objectives are met by playway method, right? So the important thing is, play is the part of child's life. This can be a statement. Okay. There is no child who does not play. Okay. Every child likes to play. As fish cannot live without water, similarly, child cannot live without play. Secondly, there is no play when where there is social interaction. ओके ऐसा कोई खेल नहीं जहां सोशल इंटरैक्शन ना हो. ठीक है. देयर इज नो प्ले विदाउट सोशल इंटरैक्शन. सो द चाइल्ड गेट्स इंटरैक्टेड सोशली if there is proper playway environment. So we can say that the learning objectives are met by playway method, because if the learning goals are planned systematically and the play is also properly instructed and guided to the child, the playway method actually achieves the objectives of learning and teaching process. Okay. Now, next question can be asked is, what are the approaches of teaching using the playway method? Teaching approaches. So, what you can say is, I believe in learning through play, where children can explore, experiment, and learn the concepts naturally through different activities. Right? You can say like this, कि आप बिलीव करते हैं कि प्ले जो है बच्चे को एक्सप्लोर करने में, बच्चे को एक्सपेरिमेंट करने में चीजों की, और साथ साथ में नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट से कनेक्ट होने के लिए हेल्प करता है. ओके. सो यू कैन से दैट द प्ले helps the child to explore, to experiment and learn different concepts naturally, right? So this is the part for playway. Now let us move on to the third pedagogy given by NEP through NCERT, inquiry-based learning. Inquiry-based learning, they can ask, first of all, differentiate between questioning and inquiry. What is the difference between questioning and inquiry? See, questioning is done by the teacher and inquiry is done by the student. Okay, first point. Questioning is done by the teacher, inquiry is done by the student. Second point for questioning. In questioning, usually the person who is asking the question knows the answer. Usually the person who is asking the question knows the answer. But in inquiry, the one who is asking does not know the answer. In inquiry, the one who is answering does not know the answer. Okay? See, if the person knows the answer, there is no curiosity. So in questioning, the curiosity may be or may not be present. Okay? The curiosity to answer may be or may not be present in questioning. But in inquiry, always the one who is asking the question, there is curiosity. Always there is curiosity. In questioning, interest may or may not develop. But in inquiry, always the interest is there because the questions are asked with curiosity. The interest is developed because the questions are always asked with curiosity. So these are the 4 basic points which I have given both for questioning as well as inquiry. Okay. See, if I am going fast, I think so. But the thing is, it is very important because you all also have short of time. You all can watch this video later on because it's getting recorded and then write the notes also. And then put on the points. So the next is, how do you guide students about IBL? IBL is inquiry-based learning. How do you guide students about inquiry-based learning? So the main and the important thing is to facilitate the environment which generates the curiosity is actually the guide to implement IBL in the classroom. To facilitate the environment of curiosity is the guide to IBL for the students. Okay. So, what type of questions should be asked by the students? Usually, the students ask open-ended questions. What are open-ended questions? The questions which are having multiple answers and they do not have any end. Closed-ended questions are the questions which end soon. Like, if I ask you who is the Prime Minister of India, we just say the name of the Prime Minister and the answer is done. The questioner is bound to ask the next question. These questions are closed-ended questions. But the open-ended questions are the free questions. They can be asked and the multiple answers can be given for the same question and the length of the answer may be less or may be exploratory also. Okay. So that is the IBL open-ended question. In inquiry, we also encourage different types of predictions. Okay. The children may love different predictions because they are curious and eager to know about the concept. Okay. When the child does not know anything, the child is much more curious. So they learn the predictions and they love the predictions actually. They think these predictions are nothing but magic. Okay. Like for example, if you are if you are giving a germination of seed activity, you just say the child, now the plant is going to grow from this seed. So what have you actually done? You have actually predicted something. The child will think that this is going to happen because the ma'am has told. But I have to water it daily. One day when the plant will come, whatever you have predicted, it will turn into a magic that yes, the ma'am has told that plant is going to come and the plant has come. The child will be happy and the child will take care of the plant. So the experiential learning and inquiry based learning can happen both together. Okay. Now next is implementation of experiential learning. So how do you implement experiential learning in the classroom? So you can perform different activities. One of the example of activity which I am presenting you now is the cooking activity. It can be fireless cooking. The child will experience this. You can make sandwich, you can make fruit salad, or you can make lemonade. Okay. The measurements and the fruits or the vegetables or whatever you are getting it can be chopped earlier, and then the presentation the child is going to do. The fireless cooking is actually giving the experience to the child, and the child is going to eat that or drink that. The child will be happy that I have made it and I am having it. The child is also going to ensure this experience and love the experience and understand that how the person who is giving food to the child is working on it. The child will understand the importance of the mother or the one who is giving food to the child. Now, the another activity can be the gardening project, which I have just given you the example, the experiential learning and the inquiry based learning. Both can be facilitated in the same topic, gardening project. Okay. Now, last is theme based learning. Now, how will you plan activities in theme based learning? So for a theme, like for example, if we give the theme of animals, right? For the animals theme, you can give stories, you can give crafts, you can give role plays, you can give different activities on the activity worksheets. Okay. You can play fancy dress competition also for animals, like children can dress up as different animals. Okay. So like if you can have monthly theme, you can have weekly theme. Okay. Or you can have theme fortnightly. Per day, you can take different activities during the morning assembly or in the classroom activity for first 5 minutes in the QCT, quality circle time. Okay. You can involve these type of a theme during this time period, morning assembly or in the classroom QCT time. Then when we talk about some more topics for exploration, you can pick up the theme as food, because food has many different branches for exploring. You can pick up transport, because transport also has many different branches for exploring. You can pick up festivals. You can pick up costumes for the themes, okay, for the children to understand. In every theme, you can add on colors. Like with themes, you can add on colors of the month. You can add on different shapes of the month. And then you can involve these type of activities along with the different themes as well. Okay. Now, there are some basic teaching methods like inductive method, deductive method, synthesis method, analysis method, demonstrative method, questioning method. These are the general methods which we are usually doing in B.Ed. But in foundation stage, it can be done or it cannot be done also. But as per NEP, the methods which I have just told you, that can be done. You all can just go through these type of methods also, inductive, deductive, synthesis, analysis, just for the revision. Now the time is for the CBQ, case-based question. These are very, very important. Like I am reading out some cases, just let us understand. A child struggles to blend the sounds in cat. What do? Like this is a phonic related question. If the child want to blend the sound cat. Okay. Then the child is having some problem. That struggles means the child is having problem. So what will you do? First, I will say the sound of the first letter and the sound of the second letter, the sound of the third letter. See here, when they are asking you phonic related question, you have to say the sound. Okay. Then only the interviewer will understand that yes, you actually know the phonic sound. Okay. So you have to say the sound while you are presenting the questions. So, at. You have to say the sound. You have to blend it. At. So there are two types of blending. One is initial blending and the final blending. When we go on to initial blending, ka and a will be said together. It's ka, t. And when there is final blending, k will be said separately and at will be said together. So these are the three methods where we can use different types of blending and make the child understand. We will also read and the child will repeat after me. This is the method through which we can help the child to blend the sounds in the word. Okay. Next CBQ. Kids lose their interest in theme-based activities. Many a times, if you are saying about theme-based, many a times kids lose their interest in theme-based activities. So, how will you keep it? So, the theme-based activity can be kept only for a week. After every week, the theme should be changed. Okay, this will be the answer. Next, a parent questions your teaching method. How do you respond? If a parent is questioning that your teaching method is different by my teaching method, then how will you answer that parent? This may be your question. So, the teacher will give some examples. The teacher will make the parent understand, and the teacher will make the parent know about the different strategies implemented as per NEP and as per the strategies required for the age level of the child to understand. Okay, this may be the answer. Okay, the main important case is if two kids disagree to share the materials during the activity. How will you help the child? You will tell the child to have patience and wait for the turn. The person or the child who is having the material will perform the activity first, and then the second person will wait, and then the first one will give. After that, that second person is going to return the material back. So you as a teacher have to give a proper confirmation to the child that this child is not going to take your material. That material is returned to you. That is called as sharing. Actually, the child does not share the thing because the child thinks that this friend is going to take my material home and is not going to return back. So you as a teacher have to confirm the child that this child is going to return it to you, the material. So please give it, and afterwards he or she is going to return. When the child gets the confirmation or the assuration that yes, the child is going to return it, the child surely shares the materials. Okay. These are the general CBQs. Now there is very less time left in this Zoom meeting. It may get over. After that, I would request you all to join on this. I'll stop the recording now so that we can have a general interaction. There are 5 minutes left now. We can have a general interaction as of now because that we have very less time also. So I have given you information about some questions. Tomorrow I will be sharing you maximum questions so that you can read and go through.
Ma'am, please.